Leytonstone. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. This is a Central Line train to Epping.
I was in the tube on evening last week and I've been working late, so I was like, the tube needs to fix everything else.
Once again, this train, we're calling all stations to Epping. Either close the door, please.
No!
To celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the Bit Squad, we are going to be giving away $1,000 in Bitcoin for the months of March and April, along with 2 Nano Ledger S's. An extra $100 prize will be available for those who join the Telegram group. Like and comment on every video in March and April for the maximum number of entries. You must be a subscriber to win. Hey Bit Squad, back with another Fresh 5 video. Today we're going to be looking at Binance adding XRP, but I thought it was already on there. We're also going to be looking at a disappearing act from a Bitcoin evangelist. We're going to be looking at people scared to use their crypto. And of course, we're also going to be looking at some big news coming from the SEC. And I'm not talking football. So, okay, guys, let's go ahead and get into it with Market Watch. Market Watch. Okay, market's coming in at $134.34 billion. We had a little bit of volatility overnight, but Bitcoin is hovering still in the 39s right now at 39.14. Bitcoin dominance at 51.3%. Not a lot of changes in the top 10. Stellar did pass Tether for number 8. Other than that, it is unchanged. If we look here, though, guys, we're seeing more altcoins pumping out of control. We've got Crypto.com up 146% today. Maximine Coin, Zcoin, Aurora, and Cash all up in the 20s. Guys, we could be seeing a new alt season. It may be all manipulation, but we are starting to see some absolute insane pumps from some of these smaller coins. So we also have some losers today. Still Theta token on a correction. ABBC coin, I need to look into that one. I don't know what that is. Digitex Futures, Loom Network, and Project Pi. So let's get into the news. Number 5. So this here is Jameson Lopp. You may know him as a Bitcoin evangelist. Well, very interesting. Something has happened to him, or something happened to him, and now he's taken a lot of steps from that. So the name of the article is How a Bitcoin Evangelist Made Himself Vanish in 15 Not So Easy Steps. So the long and the short of it, what happened to Jameson Lopp is that he got swatted. So someone called the police, said there was a hostage situation, a kidnapping, a murder, all kinds of crazy stuff going on at his house. So the SWAT team came in and kicked his door. And then he got a phone call or a text message. He got contacted by whoever did it, right? Reported the fake story and said, if you don't give us X amount of Bitcoin, we're going to continue doing this to you and your family. So what he decided to do was totally change his life. In 15 steps, he created a new corporate identity, set up new bank accounts. He carries cash, got a new phone number. Here's a very interesting one. Stop using his phone for directions. He has just a GPS, like an old TomTom or something he uses. He moved. He made up a fake name. He created a VPN. He bought a boring car. He no longer has a Lotus or a motorcycle. Bought a decoy house to fool the DMV. Set up a private mailbox. Mastered the art of disguise. Worked remotely. Encrypted devices when traveling remotely. And hired private investigators to check his work to make sure that he had, in fact, disappeared. So I think the moral of this story is that, you know, number one, when you are a crypto influencer, you are a target for things like that. That's just something that, you know, that is a fact of life. So the other thing I took from this is that if you really wanted to hide yourself, there still are ways to do it. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. We're living in a world where there's almost no privacy, but props to him for actually being able to do it. There's no current picture of him on here. I had to pull up an old picture, so very interesting. Number 4. Okay, with all the Samsung talk, I felt like we should bring this up again. And based on my story yesterday from the Samsung S10, basically what it said is they're going to have a blockchain wallet, but it's not going to hold Bitcoin, only Ethereum, ERC20s, and some other things. But the question is, will the Samsung blockchain wallet force Apple to adopt crypto? Now, this is something we've talked about before. Apple is the #1 company in the world in terms of value. It is still in front of Amazon at this point. I believe Amazon probably will catch it at some point. But, you know, this would be absolutely huge for adoption if Apple did come into crypto. But, you know, really what I want to touch on here, it's very interesting that we had this story about Samsung, right, where they're not putting Bitcoin on the blockchain wallet. That's an opportunity for Apple. Apple could step in and they could have a blockchain wallet with Bitcoin. And now, if you're a Bitcoin maximalist, you're going to want to have the Apple phone. You're not going to want to have the Samsung phone. So, you know, will crypto kind of shape up to cause some kind of competition between Apple and Samsung, or Apple and Android? We'll just have to see, but this is definitely going to be very interesting to watch. Number 3. Okay, so this headline I feel like is a little misleading. So according to Join FIO recent research, 60% of crypto users are still scared to make a Bitcoin payment, and only 11% of people who used crypto in 2018 did so more than once a week. Is it time for crypto to become easier? Yes, I do agree it is time for crypto to become easier, but when you really look at the chart here, it says that, you know, 40% of people were very comfortable and confident that transaction will occur as intended. Now, if you look at the numbers here for people who've held crypto for longer than 3 years, it's very high, it's 40%. But for those newer, it's a little bit lower at 21%. Now, the other 3 areas combined, yes, they do reach, you know, 60%. But out of that, only 4 to 5% are really worried about the transactions. So, you know, I think this is a little overblown, but I do agree. I think that, you know, people don't know how to use crypto. I was just talking to someone, my chiropractor today, and she was like, you know, oh yeah, somebody came in and he had, you know, 10 million cryptocurrencies or something, and he had some kind of card he paid with. It's probably a BitPay card. I'm not 100% sure, but, you know, it's very hard for your, you know, we call them the normies, for them to understand. So, you know, hopefully this will be something that does become easier over time. Number 2. Okay, Binance adds XRP to the Trust Wallet. So the Trust Wallet is Binance's wallet that they do own. XRP and credit card support has now been added. Recently, Tron was also added to this, and Zcash. So it brings the total number of cryptocurrencies the Trust Wallet supports to 17, in line with its major competitors, such as Coinbase Wallet, that, you know, we reported on recently, where it was going to have a way for you to store your private keys on the cloud. Terrible idea. And to keep up with the neighbors, Trust Wallet similarly features a dApp browser and is compatible with ERC20 tokens. I think we're going to see, you know, that these wallets are going to become more and more complex. So, you know, this one has dApp support in it and things like that. But, you know, the big takeaway is XRP is really just moving on up, you know, in terms of what I really mean to say here. Let me say it like this. It seems to me, between Binance and Coinbase, and this is going to relate to our next story, is the fear of dealing with XRP while they have an ongoing security lawsuit seems to be diminishing. Now, I don't know if there's inside information that that's going to get dismissed, or if that's just a general feeling. But, you know, I do think that XRP has been clearing out some regulatory hurdles. Of course, as they're clearing those hurdles, now they have some new hurdles coming from banks, you know, like JP Morgan, starting their own internal coin. So we'll just have to see if XRP is able to take off. But one thing is for sure, it's that the regulation is not scaring people and businesses away from it right now. The number 1 crypto story of the day. All right, number 1 story of the day. SEC Chairman Clayton just confirmed commission staff analysis that found Ethereum and cryptos like it are not security. So last year there was a story, I remember the day when it came out, Ethereum pumped like 10%, where the SEC came out and said, oh, well, you know, Ethereum is not a security. They deemed it not a security. But that was the staff of the SEC. That was not the actual SEC body, the commission, putting out that statement. So a bunch of news organizations had reached out trying to figure out from the commission itself, like, are you guys going to stick with this ruling? Because I remember, like, when it first got announced, everybody was like gung-ho, like, yes, this is what we've been waiting for. But then it was kind of like people were like, well, you know, this isn't actually what we were looking for. So it does seem like now the commission has came out and said that it is not a security. And like I said with Ripple and XRP, It looks like it's moving that way as well, but we don't know for sure. Now, something very interesting in the chairman's statements was he said that while in the initial phase of a project, like the ICO phase, they can be selling securities. ICOs can be selling securities. Once it's actually goes on exchanges, and I'm paraphrasing here, once a coin goes on exchanges, it no longer is deemed as a security as long as it passes the Howey test, which is, the test that basically determines whether something is a security or not. So, you can have these projects that might have gotten in trouble for the way that they raised the money, but going forward, those projects are not going to be in a lot of trouble because at this point, it no longer is a security. I'm looking at something like Tron that had an ICO, or EOS that had a big ICO, but now they're just tradable coins and tokens, right? So very interesting. We're going to continue to see more and more about this. I think that the SEC is in a little over their head in terms of, if they were to deem a bunch of these big project securities, it's going to be a lot of work for them to go backwards and investigate them all. They probably don't even have the resources for that. So this could be maybe a little bit of a backdoor for, going and being able to invest projects from the ICO stage, but once they hit exchanges, kind of washing their hands of those projects because they're no longer considered investment contracts. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a video coming out on IOST. As I've mentioned several times, I was elected official node. So, trying to move on up the ranks. I'm at number 67, I think, right now. I think I started at 75. So, if you guys do own IOST, would appreciate a vote for you guys on the node. And we'll talk to you guys later. BitBoy out.